Good afternoon all and welcome to this webinar. I would like to thank you all for signing up for this webinar. In today's webinar, we'll go through first of all on a short animation video on oxazolidines. Then I'll explain you a bit of chemistry on oxazolidine and how do they work. Then I'll provide you some practical steps and tips and guide on how to achieve the best performance from oxazolidine, particularly in one component polyurethane coating systems. So for example, I'll provide you what equipments are required and also step-by-step manufacturing instructions. And then I'll introduce you with some of our new tools which we recently launched for our oxazolidines. And then finally, as Ian mentioned, there will be a question and answer session. Now let's start with a video. This video explains what are oxazolidines and how they work, and also what are the applications where oxazolidines can be used. So I'll just play now the video. As you have seen from the video, basically, oxazolidines are versatile additive for PU technologies and are used in wide variety of applications from industrial roofing, balconies to wind turbines, automotive and military applications. If you want to watch the full video, then please click on this link here. Now I'll move on to what are oxazolidines and how do they work. Let's start with a bit of chemistry. So what is an oxazolidine? Well, it's a 5-membered heterocyclic ring structure containing nitrogen and oxygen as shown here in this diagram. It's a versatile additive for both one component and two component solvent bond and high solid coating systems. Now, what are the benefits of oxazolidine in your formulation? But before we move on to benefits, let's discuss something about the defects which you see day in, day out when you formulate a PU coating. Well, the main defects which you see are pinholes and blistering. Now, as a PU formulator, it is very important to understand the cause of this defects. Well, the main cause of this defect is this reaction as shown here. So when isocyanate reacts with the atmospheric humidity or the humidity or moisture from the raw materials, particularly from pigments and fillers, they generate carbon dioxide gas. And this carbon dioxide gas is the main reason you see these defects, pinholes and blisters. What this does is that it gives you a very poor film integrity, and also it gives you a poor aesthetically bad appearance. So now, how does oxazolidine resolve this issue? Well, all oxazolidine, they work as a moisture scavenger. As a moisture scavenger, oxazolidine reacts with the moisture first before isocyanate reacts with the moisture. So basically, they both are competing reaction. So oxazolidine has to react with the moisture first, and it has to win this competition to avoid any any moisture or carbon dioxide generation. And so once oxazolidine grabs the moisture or reacts with the moisture, in presence of moisture, oxazolidine hydrolyzes and it produces an amino and alcohol groups. This amino alcohol groups will then react with the isocyanate to produce polyurea and polyurethane linkages, and in this way it prevents the generation of carbon dioxide at first place. Now, because it prevents the generation of carbon dioxide, what do you get is a very good defect-free film and also a very good film integrity. So the moisture, or particularly in two-component anti-corrosion coatings, the moisture cannot seep through in basically. Now, depending on the structure of oxazolidine, oxazolidine exhibits different functions. So for example, along with the moisture scavenger, it also works as a reactive diluent in some of the systems, and as a reactive diluent, particularly in two-component system, what it does is that it produces a low VOC high solid PU coating system, and also it works as a latent curing agent for one-component systems, where it promotes the faster through cure. So now let's see which of the products are in our range. Well, we have in total 4 oxazolidine products. First of all, let's start with INCOZOL 2. INCOZOL 2 is a mono-oxazolidine and is only recommended as a moisture scavenger in particularly two-component high solid top coat systems. Whereas INCOZOL LV is a bis-oxazolidine and has 4 functionalities. Though being 4 functional, INCOZOL LV, the viscosity of INCOZOL LV is very low, only 50 megapascal, and thus it's used as reactive diluent, particularly in two-component high solid systems. And the recommendation is that in this kind of systems, you have to replace 10 to 30% of your polyol with INCOZOL LV to produce a high solid low VOC two-component top coat. And then finally we have 2 latent curing agents in our range, that is INCOZOL 4 and INCOZOL EH. Both of these products are recommended for one-component systems, where they are used as latent curing agent, and they promote faster through cure in high build application, and also it will give a defect-free film that is without pinholes even at high build application, high build thickness. Now let's see what are the applications where this kind of products are used. Let's start with the latent curing agents like INCOZOL 4 and EH. They are recommended for particularly for one-component one-component moisture cured polyurethane coatings, particularly like waterproofing, roof coating, balcony coating, walkways and steps. Well, as I mentioned, this coatings basically, this particularly one-component PU coatings are high build coatings, and so not only it by incorporating oxazolidine you prevent the generation of carbon dioxide, and also you get a very good defect-free film, but also by incorporation of oxazolidine and due to the cross-linking of INCOZOL 4 and EH, you achieve a very good and excellent chemical resistance and also very good tensile properties. Now the other applications are where particularly INCOZOL 2 and LV are used are for the two-component PU top coats for applications like wind turbines, aerospace, automotive, military. And we also seen basically INCOZOL 2 and LV, we recommend it for particularly polyaspartic systems as well. In this kind of polyaspartic systems, INCOZOL 2 and LV, it provides increase in the pot life. Now, before we move on to achieving the best performance, as you have seen that oxazolidine are the versatile additive, and so now in my next few slides I'm going to explain how to achieve the best performance, particularly in one-component polyurethane coating systems. So let's move on. This is a typical guide formulation of one-component moisture-cured polyurethane coating formulation. Just quickly go through where I've used an aliphatic pre-polymer, particularly IPDI pre-polymer here, along with some pigments, fillers, some catalysts. We have some additives, UV additives, solvent, and finally, in this formulation, we have used INCOZOL EH. Actually, you can use INCOZOL 4 as well. Both of INCOZOL 4 or EH are recommended for one component moisture cured PU coating formulation. So now you have the guide formulation. The next step is that to order a sample or maybe to order a drum. So now you have you have ordered the sample and you have the drum in your stock. So what is the next step? Well, the next step is to understand what equipment is required to manufacture particularly one component moisture cure coatings. Well, all the raw materials which are used to manufacture one component moisture cure coating are moisture sensitive. So to produce a one component stable product, it is recommended to use this kind of equipment, which is a high speed disperser as shown here, and the vessel which is recommended should be an enclosed vessel, so moisture should not penetrate, and this should have a vacuum and nitrogen inlet as shown here. So what's the first step? The first step is to understand that you have to prevent the moisture ingress in all circumstances during the production. And so because all the raw materials are used are moisture sensitive raw materials, so if you want a one component stable product, then you have to manufacture the one component system in an enclosed vessel and under inert atmosphere, preferably either vacuum or nitrogen. Many times I've got queries basically that we have measured the moisture content, we have done this, and it's a pigmented system, but still we still get the problems of pinholes and bubbles or gassing basically in your system. Actually, the main cause of this is also the pigments and fillers which you use, because generally the pigments and fillers are wet when you use. So the recommendation is that you should dry the pigment and filler in the oven basically before using it. Particularly, you can leave it at 80 degree in an oven overnight. So now the first step is to add the materials. Let's start. To clean and dry vessel, you have to add IPDI pre-polymer. The next step is to add the oven dried pigments and fillers into the pre-polymer under slow stirring. Then you have to disperse this pigment basically. Naturally, you have to high speed disperse the pigment and fillers to achieve the good grind. But this has to be carried out under vacuum as shown here, because it's as I mentioned earlier, it is really important that you should prevent any moisture ingress during manufacturing. The next step, when the mixing or the dispersing is ongoing, you can premix the solvent or additives into the formulation, and then once you premix it and once the grind is achieved, you can add the premix of the solvents and additive into the pre-polymer and pigment mix. Then the next step is very important. This is basically this is the step before the final step, where we have not added any INCOZOL or oxazolidine in here. So the recommendation is that after you add all the ingredients, that is your pigment, solvent and everything goes in, you measure the water content. And you can measure the water content via Carl-Fisher method as shown here. This is the typical Carl-Fisher equipment, and the recommended reagent is the composite 5. Now this is the last step actually of your manufacturing one component system, where you add INCOZOL EH. What we recommend is that before you add any INCOZOL EH, you should measure the moisture content. So the moisture content of your system before you add INCOZOL EH should be less than 500 ppm or 0.05% of water. Once you achieve that, the final step is to add the recommended moisture into the recommended INCOZOL EH basically into the system, and slowly stir it without vacuum before filling basically. Now, how to store or how to handle oxazolidine post manufacture. So now you have used in the production basically you have used oxazolidine. So what are the steps to make sure that the product doesn't degrade, or when you use next time it's still okay to use? So because oxazolidines also are moisture sensitive, as you have seen previously from the reaction, it reacts with the moisture. So what we suggest basically is that after the use, you purge the oxazolidine drum with nitrogen, as shown here in this diagram. You never leave the lid open after use. You avoid any moisture ingress so that to reduce the degradation of the product. And in terms of the storage, you can store this material at ambient temperature in a very dry and well ventilated place. Now, finally, now you have manufactured, you have stored the INCOZOL, and the final basically step is the filling of your final product. Well, as you know, all the raw materials which are used in formulating or in manufacturing one component of moisture cure systems are moisture sensitive. So the final product is also moisture sensitive. So you have to make sure that the final product, when you fill the final product, you avoid any moisture ingress, and this can be done by using nitrogen. So you purge the nitrogen just before filling. So just to quickly summarize the best practices, what we have seen basically, to manufacture a one component stable moisture cure system, you should know basically that the raw materials are moisture sensitive, so you have to avoid any moisture ingress. You have to make sure that the pigments and fillers are dry. You have to manufacture under vacuum or under inert atmosphere, and also you have to purge the INCOZOL drum and the final product with nitrogen. And once you follow this best practices, you will definitely achieve the best performance out of oxazolidine. So what best performance you would achieve? So as it says, best practices leads to best performance. So first of all, you would achieve, particularly in one component system and two component system, you will achieve an excellent film with no gassing, with no problems or no defects. So you will resolve your bubble trouble basically. So you will get rid of all the carbon dioxide gassing, and you will achieve a very good film. Then, particularly in two component systems, you can achieve a low VOC high solid systems. Then for one component system, you can achieve faster through cure. And finally, because the oxazolidines are multifunctional, they improve the durability through cross-linking. So you will achieve very good, excellent chemical resistance, and also improved tensile properties. So now we have learned, we have seen basically how oxazolidine works and how to achieve the best performance out of oxazolidine. I would like to now introduce to some of the new tools we have introduced recently. Particularly, these tools are very easy to understand, very quick to access, and they are very simple as well. So now let's move on. So what are the tools in our range, in our toolkit? Well, the tools which are available, first of all, we have a new website. Then on the website, we have also introduced a new INCOZOL product selector, where you can go and choose the product. And then we have INCOZOL meter, which will give you how much oxazolidine or INCOZOL product is needed in your formulation. Then we have guide formulations and case studies. And finally, you have the technical support, especially from me. So I will be providing you all the information, all the application, all the technical support needed during the development of your formulation or during the whole project. Now let's move on. So this is our new website. Please go and register to the website. I think what we have made it very simple and easy to operate, basically, where we have all the products. We have different products in our range: oxazolidine, aldimines, PUDs, pollutants and dispersions. And when you choose oxazolidine, you get this page, and all the information on technical data sheet and everything is there on this page. There is a video as well. The video which you have seen earlier, that video is also there on our website. And also, if you have any question or inquiry, then there is an inquiry form. So please fill the inquiry form here from the website, and this inquiry will straight come to me as well. So please go and register onto our new website. Now on the website, what we've made, basically, we have made it very easy for our customer. So for example, we have recently launched INCOZOL product selector. What this is basically is that let's go through some example where this will give you the products as per your application. So let's go through. So basically what it is, it's simple drop down menu. So where you choose, this is available on the website. It's a very simple drop down menu. You choose your application. So whatever application, for example, if you choose polyurethane waterproofing membrane here, then the next it will give you what is the system, and what's isocyanate. So it will provide you that do you have a one component aliphatic or one component aromatic isocyanate. It will then, if you choose one component aliphatic, it will give you this product, so INCOZOL EH. So we have made it very simple here. And in the same way, there are different applications for heavy duty protective coatings where you can use INCOZOL 2 and LV. So please visit our website and please go through our product selector, particularly for your application. And if the application is not mentioned, then please do contact us, and we will go through with you. Now, after choosing the application, the next step is how much INCOZOL or oxazolidine will you require. So again, we have made it simple. We call it INCOZOL meter or INCOZOL calculator. So you have now chose the INCOZOL EH basically. Now let's see how. So you choose from here INCOZOL EH as we have chose from the product selector, and then it will come up with this option. You can choose either pre-polymer NCO percentage or pre-polymer equivalent weight. So let's choose here pre-polymer NCO content and write, for example, 4% NCO. So if you choose 4% NCO, then it will ask you what is the pre-polymer mass. So let's choose, for an example, 35 grams of pre-polymer. So if you choose 35 grams of pre-polymer, then it will give you what amount or how many grams of INCOZOL EH you need, and this is automatic, so you will get this information straight away. So for every 35 grams of your pre-polymer, you need 5 grams of INCOZOL EH. Now let's see another example. So let's go on and see INCOZOL 2 here. So if you choose INCOZOL 2 is a moisture scavenger. Again, the options here changes, as you can see. Water content in weight percent and water content in ppm. Let's select the water content in ppm as an example. Let's say that when you measure the water content via Carl Fisher, you get around 1000 ppm of water. So if you have 1000 ppm of water, then it will give you basically how many grams there is basically, and you can use 100 grams for example, and then it will give you the mass of INCOZOL too. So in this way we have made it very easy and simple. So please go and register onto the website, and you will see all the information there. Now we also have all the guide formulations for all the different applications and also case studies. This is the list of guide formulations which are available, and they all are available actually on Special Chem for Coating website. So please go on to Special Chem for Coating and go to our technology center, particularly Oxazolidine Technology Center, and all the information is there on the case studies and the guide formulations. And finally, for all the application support, please contact me. I'm here to advise and support on different applications on your particular requirement, and I'll provide you some formulation advice, tips, and everything. So please contact me, and for your problem, we will try and find the solution, and in this way we'll resolve the issue, and together we'll resolve the problem, and it will be success for both of us. So please contact me. You have my email address here, and also my contact information on the phone as well. So if you have a particular requirement, particular application, please contact me. Thanks a lot for your attention. Thank you.